I almost died on a flight from Toronto to Dubai a couple of weeks ago, and I want to talk about it. So on February 5th, I was flying direct from Toronto to Dubai in economy class, and with 2.5 hours left in the flight, I had to get up and go to the bathroom. This was the first time that I got up on the whole flight. And I walked to the bathroom. Thank God somebody was in the bathroom. Otherwise, I would have been in the bathroom and locked the door behind me when this happened. I was waiting for the bathroom and I got this really deep, dull, aching pain in my chest out of nowhere. And I coughed 3 times, and that was the last thing I remember. I was unconscious for 5 minutes. I fell, I collapsed. I hit my head. You can't see it anymore. I'm actually wearing makeup covering it up, but I had a huge black eye. I hit my face. I have still a bit of a bruise here from where I fell. And I was unconscious for 5 minutes. I had a near-death experience, which is maybe something for another video. And thank God there was a doctor on board and some very amazing, competent flight attendants who essentially saved my life. They gave me an oxygen tank, carried me to business class, laid me down, and I was vomiting profusely, sweating. They took extreme good care of me. What happened, you might be wondering? I had a massive bilateral saddle pulmonary embolism, a blood clot in both of my lungs. This typically causes most people to die instantly, or they die in the first 1 to 2 hours. Generally, over 6 hours without treatment, then 0% chance of survival. Fast forward in this story, I got to the hospital 6.5 hours later, because remember, we still had 2.5 hours left of the flight. And then they took me to the airport clinic for about 3 hours. And then I got to the hospital where they had to run tests to diagnose me, brain scans and all the scans and the blood work. And that's when they realized that I had an extreme life-threatening blood clot that was affecting both of my lungs. And it was essentially a miracle that I was still alive. And I was hospitalized for 6 days after the treatment worked at Dubai's Rashid Hospital. Amazing healthcare, by the way. But my PSA of this whole story, why this blood clot happened to me, an otherwise perfectly healthy 33-year-old woman. The doctors believe because I wasn't moving on my flight, so please get up and move on your flights. And I was on estrogen birth control. Again, estrogen birth control is like a huge blood clot risk. I didn't really understand what that meant until now, but if you are on estrogen birth control, or if you are doing hormone therapy for perimenopause, menopause, please just talk to your doctor, because the estrogen is a huge blood clot risk from what I've learned, on top of not moving on the flight. I was also wearing compression stockings for the very first time. I had them perfectly measured at a vascular clinic, and it was my first time wearing them. So if you're wearing compression stockings and not moving on your flights, it's actually detrimental because it cuts off your blood flow if you're seated in an economy class for an extended period of time, like I was, and like most people are, let's be real. So that's how I almost died. According to ChatGPT, my survival rate was 0.1 to 0.3% chance surviving all of the different components and parameters of my case. I'm speaking out about it to be transparent and to also hopefully educate people about the risks of blood clots, and just as a reminder that life is so precious, and just to really appreciate it. It sounds so cliche, but I have this like new outlook on life now, and just take care of yourselves. Get up and move on your flights. Don't be on estrogen birth control, please. There's other kinds out there and other things you can do. And also for hormone replacement therapy and compression tights, which are normally the gold standard. So this is just my personal experience with them. They didn't work for me. Take care of yourselves and ask any questions. I'm happy to answer.